Ah, bugger. There was like a glitch when I was putting my stuff to YouTube, so none of the TLC was recorded. It's not the end of the world, to be fair. The main bit is Resi 5. Sorry, I like 7. Just like the... Yeah, for sure. Right, what I need to do now is we need to go from here to here. And it might stop the music. Sorry, Ackcroft. You... Oh, yeah. So now we need to watch a... So... Okay, I'll change that name to that. Right, so I'm gonna... Right, so let's watch a summary, is it, boys? So basically, like I said, we will play 7 in a minute, but we need to watch a summary. Resident... Resident Evil summary. Which one's got the most views? That's not like too long. Oh, let's watch this. This will be fun. I know. What happened? Muscles. Right. Are you ready to watch this with me? Axe? What's the matter, bub? Oh, I missed that. Like if someone knocked on the door. Sorry. So, it is time to do this. So let's watch this together, shall we? Should we watch this together? Be nice. You put it. You get my other screen. Bear with me one sec. Why did it not work? Ah! Everything's not working. How are you doing today, Atcroft? Anyway, you okay? There you go. Hopefully this tells us the story and then we can carry on with our lives and play some Resident Evil 7 in a minute, okay? Or in 20 minutes. Why turn the music off? Hang on. No. I'm exhausted, but okay. Why so exhausted, buddy? 6, 7. Terrible. I love the music. Thank you. Hey, anytime. Anytime, boo. I just have to turn it off so I can put this on. It's in the background. Where are you? Where are you? Well, watch this. Hopefully it'll just tell us the story of Resi 6, okay? That's the plan. Quick clear. Then this. To, 2 seconds. Someone's knocking. Hang on, I'll put it on anyway. 2 seconds, boys.
Lots of you have been asking me to cover Resident Evil games ever since I started this show, with these suggestions running the gamut from Resident Evil Gaiden, Operation Raccoon City, and oh, I haven't forgotten about you, Umbrella Corps. But there's one particular title that stands above the rest in terms of fan outcry. The game that was too big to be contained to Spain, Africa, or even Terra Grigia. The game that needed a 600 employee strong workforce, cost more money than any other Capcom published title before it, and have the distinction of being the most divisive entry in the franchise. This, of course, is
Resident Evil 6.
And that is the key word, divisive, because make no mistake, Resident Evil 6 has its fans, and looking back on it nowadays, many people have come to appreciate its, eccentricities. Critically, it also holds a spectacularly average Metacritic average, which plays right in line with the general zeitgeist around the game. Oh, but it was a huge sales disaster though. Capcom lost like $1 billion bison on it, right? No, that's not true either. Resident Evil 6 is indeed one of, if not the most interesting game in the long-running series. Well, aside from GBA RE2, of course. Ugh, man, that looks so fucking good! All this to say, we are not here to discuss whether RE6 is the worstiest game of all time. I mean, you can do that in the comments if you must. But rather find out the who, the why, and the what the hell happened. It's 2009, and Resident Evil 5 is a certified blockbuster that busted the shit out of said blocks. It was Capcom's highest selling single title for almost 10 years, until Rathalos and friends took that crown from it. Now, the lesson that Capcom learned from that success was, well, we put 1,000 more explosions and way more set pieces in co-op in RE5, and it sold better than the last one, so let's do that again? What they wound up doing was making an action movie so bombastic and over the top that it makes Michael Bay films look like Downton fucking Abbey. What's that? I'm exaggerating? Okay, well, here's an exploding barrel in RE5. And here's RE6. The director of this insanity was Ichiro Sasaki, who previously helmed both Outbreak titles on the PS2, which, when compared to other mainline Resident Evils, are distinctly smaller scale. But it's his last game, right before helming the globe-trotting horror venture, which was RE6, that is far more interesting. Zack and Wiki, or as most mainstream gamers have come to know it as, Zack and the Wikipedia? I don't know, it's that thing I didn't buy because I'm a Philistine. Now, I love me some ZW, but I don't think it's a project that adequately prepared Sasaki for the immense task he was about to take on. But why was he chosen to begin with? Well, unfortunately, experienced directors were slim pickings at Capcom in this time frame. Itsuno was busy with Dragon's Dogma, and Mikami's hands were full with Being Bitter, and of course not even working there. To hopefully guide Sasaki was Resident Evil shepherd Hiroyuki Kobayashi, whose claim to fame was producing just about everything, and it's with him where we'll start our journey to see just how RE6 started to fall so hilariously off the rails. One of our original goals was to create a horror game, of course, but we wanted to create what we're calling horror entertainment. Stop right there! Like I said in our Brink episode, game devs, please refrain from using terms like genre breaker and blank killer. So with that, let's add horror entertainment to the list. Alright, there we go. Let's continue. We realize that there's a segment of the population out there that likes entertainment, but not
Sorry,
necessarily
guys. I
horror.
had,
They're put off by
fire
horror.
alarm
So
inspection.
how can we combine the two in a way that would bring in people who usually have an aversion to horror-related things?
This isn't,
Bring them in
I've
and
had my
allow them
headphones
to
on and
enjoy it.
off.
This was the first goal of the game.
This isn't actually a story summary, is it? It's like, why was it shit? I love this shit. I love this shit too. But equally, it's not telling us the story of the shit, is it? It's telling us the story of the shit, but not the story of the shit. Matt McMuscles is great, though. He is great. But I feel like I'm going to pause this here. He's taught me stuff. We'll watch it later or something, if you want. I feel like I just want the story bits. Even though this is probably more interesting. Is that okay? Is that alright? Well, it better be alright. I just need to find the fucking full story. Here we go. This'll do. Gaming Bolt. Does that still exist? I mean, it's not weird when he puts it like this. RE5 sold out. Oh, so exactly, to be fair. It does make sense, though, when you... It was very early on the console, if I remember. Oh, look at this. No idea what's happening. Is it loud enough as well? Why are they fighting? It's like watching my daddy and daddy fight. Daddy. Oh, yeah, this is what we need, boys. Before we play Village!
Started out fairly simple and straightforward 2.5 decades ago, but as time has gone on, it's become more and more convoluted.
I think
with Resident Evil
where
6,
they
the
went
series
wrong
touched
was
never-before-seen heights of ridiculousness and
yeah, that's
nonsense
true,
insanity.
right?
Though it tried to raise the stakes higher than ever with a
It did
globe-trotting
have
story
good reviews,
and 4
though,
separate
RE5.
campaigns focusing on different characters who would
It's
often
just
cross
fans
paths with
didn't
each
like
other.
it.
It escalated things a bit too much, and the only thing it ended up doing was telling a confusing, muddled tale. Before we begin, please consider subscribing.
probably
and enable
better
all
than if we
notifications
played it.
by clicking the bell icon. With that out of the way, let's get started.
You can subscribe to these people if you
Either
want.
way, over the last few weeks and months, we have
gonna
been
check
going
if
through
they
the
exist
franchise
still.
bit by bit as we
They must
recount
do.
its entire story. And now it's time for Resident Evil 6. So here, we're going to go over its full story, from beginning to end. Buckle up, because this will be a bumpy
They still
one.
exist. Good boys.
Our story begins in December 2012, in a civil war-torn Eastern European state known as Edonia. Jake Muller is a hardened mercenary despite his young age, and makes his living
Jake
fighting for Edonian
Mercer.
rebels.
What's his name?
The status
Jake
quo
what?
quickly shifts, however, when a new medicine starts doing the rounds here. Brought by
It's
a mysterious
not
woman who
great.
claims that
It's
the
worth a
medicine
play,
is
I'd
a
say.
nutritional supplement. It
Not
turns out
Chris's-
after
Chris's
everyone has
campaign is the
taken it,
fucking
that it was
terrible.
actually a bioweapon. Everyone is infected and transformed into monsters, but Jake mysteriously remains unaffected. As everyone around him loses their mind and the situation erupts into chaos, Jake is contacted by a young woman who works as an agent for the United States Department of Security Operations,
Sherry.
Birkin, who was once a young, helpless girl who had to be rescued from Raccoon City
She's
years
aged
ago
significantly.
by Leon S. Kennedy and Claire Redfield, but has now become a trained agent. Sherry tells Jake
She
that
can't
the
be
bioweapon
that
that was
old,
released
though.
in Edonia is
We're like
called the C
16,
virus,
17.
released by a bioterrorist group calling itself Neo Umbrella, and that, curiously enough, Jake seems to be immune to its effects. And since he carries antibodies, he may be the key to the vaccine.
Oh my
Jake
god,
agrees to
he's
help
the
Sherry make a
early of
vaccine,
this
but
fucking
Mercer
universe.
doesn't do so until she agrees to make a hefty cash payment to him when the job is done.
Does that make fucking Sherry
Together, Jake and
Jo-
Sherry make their escape.
Joel?
But as they're attempting to flee from Edonia, Neo Umbrella unleashes a deadly, monstrous new bioweapon known as Ustanak, or as series fans like to call him, Mr. Knockoff Nemesis. Ustanak, focused solely on finding and killing
Ustanak is
Jake,
such a
pursues
shit
him and
name.
Sherry as they make their escape, hellbent on stopping them. During the chase, they cross paths with none other than Chris Redfield, and with their help, manage to get away. How the hell did Chris even get here, though? Well, we'll get to that in just a bit.
Oh, we do
Jake
need...
and Sherry manage to find their way into a helicopter, but Ustanak is nothing if not persistent. Though it's unable to kill them, it does damage the chopper heavily. And though
this
Jake and Sherry
campaign was the
narrowly manage
best.
to jump out before it crashes, a piece of the chopper breaks off during the chaos, rips their parachute to shreds, and causes them to take a deep tumble.
Oh,
Now, let's pause for a bit. Chris Redfield. How the hell did he end up in Edonia?
Honestly,
Well, he's a
the
decorated
most
soldier
boring
and
campaign.
an agent of the BSAA.
One of the worst
So when
campaigns
the
ever.
organization
this.
gets wind of the bioterrorism
so
attack
dull.
in Edonia, naturally it's Chris who leads a squad out to Eastern Europe to deal with the situation. Also among his squad is Piers Nivens,
Chris
an
of Duty.
up-and-comer who shows a lot of promise.
P.S.
After
though
helping
is
Jake
sound.
and
He
Sherry
was a nice
escape
guy.
from Ustanak, Chris and his squad successfully break into the Neo Umbrella facility close by, where, surprisingly enough, they find everyone's favorite spy and quintuplet agent, Ada Wong. Apparently, she's a prisoner here, held captive by Neo Umbrella. But as Chris and his squad begin the process of extracting her from the facility, it turns out that she was much more than that.
Oh,
She was
yeah.
using herself as bait, and the trap she had laid for the BSAA squad has now been sprung. She infects almost the entire squad with the C virus, turning them into monstrous creatures. Chris and Piers are the only ones who survive, and the two are forced to gun down their fellow soldiers. Chris sustains heavy injuries.
That's
during the
pretty
chaos,
shitty of
and only narrowly
Ada to do.
manages to make it out alive thanks to Piers.
Isn't it?
Let's
Like-
get one thing out of the way right now. Resident Evil 6 takes its sweet time revealing this stuff, but we're going to talk about it right here to avoid any confusion and, for convenience sake. The Ada Wong Chris and company find here is not the real Ada Wong.
Okay, that makes
She's
sense.
Carla Radamez, the lead researcher for Neo Umbrella, who secretly works for Derek Simmons, the national security advisor to the United States President Adam Binford. So how exactly did she turn into an Ada Wong clone? Well,
I don't
simply
like that
put,
they use Sherry
Simmons
just
was
because she's a
obsessed
known
with
character
Ada
doesn't mean
and
she was
forcefully
needed to
transformed
return. Okay,
Carla
scratch that.
into
I
an
now
Ada
realise it's
clone
perfect fit
by
for
injecting
Resi
her
to
with a
reuse
blend
Sherry.
of Ada's DNA and the C virus.
It's
Yeah, it
beyond
makes
silly
no
and
sense, but
convenient.
that's
Yes.
RE6 for you. Anyway, we'll get to Simmons later. Following the events in Edonia, Chris goes into a self-imposed amnesiac exile for the next 6 months. And again, we'll get to that in a bit. For now, let's get back to Jake
What
and Sherry.
the fuck? How
Though Jake
convenient is
managed to
that?
escape the
Chris
trap
gets amnesia
and
for 6
relatively
months.
unscathed, Sherry incurred a serious injury. But remember how she was infected with the G virus during the events of Resident Evil 2 all those years ago?
Oh, yeah.
A virus that, among many other things, gives the person it infects self-healing abilities. Yeah, well, Sherry still carries that virus inside of her, and thanks to that, the injuries she sustained during the crash landing heal by themselves in no time.
Oh, fuck.
The two find
at
little
Croft.
time to rest, however.
Convenient.
They're attacked once again by C virus-infected monsters, while Ustanak also continues to doggedly pursue them. Though they manage to escape narrowly time and again, eventually they are surrounded by Neo Umbrella's forces and caught by Carla Radamez. She informs Jake that he is the illegitimate child of none other than Albert Wesker, which, as it turns
No,
out,
no
is
killer.
how he is immune to the C virus.
They still got it
Neo
in her,
Umbrella
though.
takes Jake and Sherry captive, taking them to the organization's facility in Lanxiang, China, where the two of them are subject to experiments for the next 6 months.
Some viruses are different, though, aren't they?
And yes,
Like
now we jump
HIV,
forward
you
6
always
months
have.
to June 2013.
But you kind of like suppress
Before we get
it.
back
Maybe
to
it's like
Chris
that.
and Piers and Jake and Sherry, we need to talk about Leon S. Kennedy, who is another crucial part
And then
of RE6's
random new
story.
person.
Now an agent of the Division of Security Operations, Leon's story in Resident Evil 6 picks up in the American city of Tall Oaks. Here, President Adam Binford plans on making confidential details about the
Cheers,
destruction
Ad.
of Raccoon City in 1998 public, as he prepares to kickstart his new policies for the global war
It is
against
mad,
bioterrorism.
the
Turns
the
out,
scale
however,
of the
his
story in
plans
this one.
never kick into motion.
It's too big.
Tall Oaks becomes ground zero for a deadly bioterror attack. The C virus is unleashed
There's like
in the
fucking
university
every virus
campus where
and the
Leon and the
Nan
president
is on the
currently are,
fucking go.
and nearly everyone there is turned into zombified monstrosities, including the president. Leon sees the mutated president attacking United States Secret Service agent Helena Harper, and reluctantly, he is forced to shoot and kill Binford. Immediately, Helena
That's
tells
right.
Leon that
Leon
she is the one who is
killed
responsible
the
for this
president.
attack, but refuses to unveil any more information. She
Technically.
tells him that she needs to get to
She-
the Tall Oaks
well,
Cathedral, and once
undead.
Leon has helped her get there, she will tell him the whole story. Though Leon is obviously mistrustful, he does agree. The pair make their way through Tall Oaks, which, as it turns out, has turned into a modern-day Raccoon City. The whole city has been infected with the C virus and blanketed in complete chaos. Leon and Helena eventually reach the cathedral and then enter a mysterious lab underneath it, where it is revealed why Helena had brought them there, to find her sister Deborah. As it turns out, Derek Simmons, who we spoke of
Debbie.
earlier, had abducted Deborah and was holding her hostage. He forced Helena to work for him, and in turn, used her to engineer the bioterror attacks on Tall Oaks.
I feel like there's more than that at Croft.
What's worse, it turns out that
TGC,
Deborah is past saving at this
there's
point.
the Ouroboros.
Leon and Helena arrive too late.
There's Las
and when they do, Deborah
Plagas.
turns into a hideously mutated BOW, and Helena is forced to kill her. During
there's,
their
like,
fight with the mutated Deborah,
different
however,
versions
they're
of
also
Las
aided
Plagas
by
as
Ada
well.
Wong, who also happens to be there
There's,
on
like,
the
strain
scene, and is currently on the
ABC.
hunt for the fake Ada clone, aka Carla
Quite a lot.
Radamez, who's being paraded around, which of course does not sit right with the real Ada. Once the fight is done, Helena tells Leon that Simmons used her to infect and assassinate the president. Simmons, as it happens, was the one who engineered Raccoon City's destruction in 1998, and he also has other larger plans in motion that will make that incident look tame in comparison. Meanwhile, Ada informs Leon and Helena that Simmons is also the head of a group known as The Family, who are a massively wealthy shadow organization and have been involved in pulling the strings of global politics for their own gain for years. After this, Ada leaves, since she has her own mission that she's on. Leon and Helena, meanwhile, come in contact with Simmons, who tells them that the blame for the president's death has been placed on the two of them. And though it's he himself who framed them, he tells them that if they turn themselves in, he will help clear their names. The two obviously refuse, and with the help of fellow U.S. agent Ingrid Hannigan, who's also a longtime associate of Leon's, they fake their deaths. Why exactly do they do that? Well, because as it turns out, Simmons has now orchestrated another bioterror attack in Lianxiang, China. Leon and Helena, determined to put a stop to his machinations, head to China, while Tall Oaks is blown to bits by a missile strike behind them, calling back to the destruction of Raccoon City. Now it's time to pause once again and catch up with Chris Redfield. 6 months ago, his team was decimated, and he himself was gravely injured in the incident in Edonia. Since then, Chris has then suffered PTSD-afflicted amnesia. Yeah, he's not doing well, and he doesn't even remember why. Again, RE6 tries to make a big deal out of his amnesia, but like many other plot points in the series, it never really goes anywhere. So why don't we just save ourselves some time here? He eventually recovers.
Mate, imagine
his memory,
playing
and
it,
only
and you
takes a
play it
couple
in
of
like
chapters of
4
his story for him to get
cutscenes,
to
and
that
you have to
point.
like put it
Big
together
surprise.
yourself.
Anyway, Chris's story picks
4
back
stories,
up
rather.
6 months after the Edonia incident in Eastern Europe. His memories are currently
have
gone,
to put it
and
together
he's taken a step
yourself,
back from
mate.
his BSAA duties,
They're doing all this
obviously.
for us.
But he's soon pulled back into the action. His former fellow BSA agent, Piers Nivens, arrives on the scene and informs Chris about what's going on in China. Chris is obviously reluctant to go, but a combination of Piers' insistence and the hope that fighting against bioterrorism in China will bring back his memories leads him to finally relent and agree to leading a BSAA squad in Lianxiang. So now all our heroes are in China. And this is where we go back to Jake and Sherry. The two have been prisoners in Neo Umbrella's China facility for 6 months, but due to convenient circumstances, they both manage to find a way to escape. They break out of the facility and, pursued by Neo Umbrella's forces,
yeah, you get to drive
make
a
run
bike.
for it
I
through
forgot
the
about
streets
that.
of Lianxiang. Eventually, they run into none other than
I went
and
through
Helena.
the other bike.
The conversation between the two pairs leads to several revelations. Sherry tells Leon that Derek Simmons is her boss, but Leon informs her that this whole mess has been caused by Simmons. Sherry and Leon have a history, of course. He saved her life back in Raccoon City after all, so naturally, she trusts him. She tells
Leon's
Leon and
barely
Helena where to
aged.
find Simmons and promises to meet up with him at the rendezvous point. As
Actually,
Leon
to be
and
fair, he
Helena
has
are
aged about
making
10
their way
years,
to the
hasn't he?
location, they chance across Ada Wong, whose personal mission to destroy the project that led to the creation of her clone and to take Carla Radamez out of the equation.
I don't
has
like
brought
that she's
her
not in
to
a red
China
dress.
as well. Leon and
Unfitting.
Helena try to communicate with her, but the situation goes quickly out of control. For starters, this isn't the real Ada after all. It's her
Oh,
clone,
yeah.
Carla.
That makes sense.
On top of that, Chris, as it turns out, has fully recovered his memories at this point, and he's on full tilt. He's single-mindedly pursuing Ada, unaware that it was actually Carla who killed his team. And just as Leon and Helena are trying to get information out of Carla,
that's why
Chris
they
and
scrapped.
Piers arrive on the scene as well. Things quickly get heated. Chris is determined to kill the woman he thinks is Ada, but Leon won't have it. He tells Chris that
This is
it's
their
not
first
her,
ever
but
meeting.
Simmons, who is responsible for everything that's going on, and soon enough, the two of them are pointing their guns at each other. In this confusion, Carla manages to slip
Flash
past them
grenade.
and escape. Leon manages to talk Chris down, and the two pairs part ways once again. Leon and Helena go after Simmons, while Chris and Piers run after Carla. Let's go ahead and stick with Leon and Helena for now. They arrive at Simmons' location around the same time that Sherry and Jake do, and here, Simmons openly admits that he was responsible for everything that's happened, but that he did it in the name of global stability, which translates to ensuring that his shadow organization, the family, retains its dominance and wealth. The situation quickly turns violent, as Simmons, now infected with the C virus, transforms into a giant BOW, which looks an awful lot like a T-Rex because that's just the sort of game that Resident Evil 6 is. Leon and Helena take him off.
It does become a T-Rex.
Jake and Sherry make their escape.
I remember that now.
The pair, however, is quickly overpowered by several infected monstrosities, and once again, they get taken captive. While this is going on, Chris and Piers have been chasing after Carla through the streets of China.
Resident Evil 6 is.
They eventually corner her aboard an
line.
aircraft carrier, where Carla, who Chris and Piers still think is Ada, reveals her plan. She plans to fire a missile loaded with the C virus over Lianxiang to become a global outbreak of the virus.
You're not
recreating
listening to
the
it.
Raccoon City incident
Not Ada,
on
is
a
it?
much larger scale, since from here, the virus
Ada
will
would show
spread
boob.
all over the world.
Probably.
As it turns out, Carla is acting against Simmons as well. Tortured by the
It's not
experiments
Ada.
he did on her to turn her into an Ada Wong clone, her personality has been resurfacing over time, and she intends to use the C virus as a global weapon to
That's why she
destroy
got her titties
everything
out.
that Simmons and the family have worked for.
That's why she's not red.
Just as she is about to launch the missile, however, a chopper arrives on the scene, from where a sniper working for the family shoots Carla through the chest. Injured, she falls off the aircraft carrier to her apparent death. Chris and Piers are relieved that the missile strike didn't go through, but their relief is short-lived. Carla, as it turns out, was one step ahead again. The missile reactivates and launches, explodes in the air, and envelops the city in a C-virus gas. By this time, Leon and Helena have managed to defeat the T-Rex known as Simmons, apparently killing him, but not really, of course, and more on this in a bit.
Oh my god,
Soon
it's so
afterward, they are
ridiculous.
contacted by Chris.
No wonder they
informing them
fucking
of
went
the
back to
missile
the
strike,
basics with
telling them to
7.
evacuate the city immediately. Leon, however, realizes that there's still a way out of this mess. Jake carries C-virus antibodies, which can be used to make a vaccine. He tells Chris that Jake and Sherry have been taken captive and need to be rescued, since Jake is the key to humanity's survival. Chris and Piers agree to head to Neo Umbrella's undersea facility for the rescue operation, while
Oh my
Leon
God,
and
thank
Helena
God for this
try to
video.
flee from the city.
Thank God.
As they're doing so, they are
Like Gaming
attacked
Bolt.
once again by
Why?
Simmons, who is
Why a
not
giant
dead after
fly
all, and has
now?
mutated even further. During their desperate fight against him, they
How'd you
are
go from a
aided by
T-Rex
Ada
to a
Wong,
fly?
and are finally able to kill him for good. Ada mysteriously vanishes from the scene immediately afterward, while Leon and Helena board a chopper and flee from the city. Ada, meanwhile,
Incredible.
manages to find
There's
all of
real
Carla's
Ada.
research and destroys it completely before
There you
leaving the
go,
city for the
Hal.
next
All
mysterious
legs.
assignment as well.
No boo-boos.
Which means 2 of the 4 campaigns still need wrapping up, but we're almost there. Chris and Piers arrive at the undersea Neo Umbrella facility and manage to find Jake and Sherry. Chris and Jake almost come to blows when the former reveals that he was the one who killed Albert Wesker, but that's just RE6 being dramatic for no reason again. The dramatic confrontation is interrupted when they are attacked by a massive C-virus infected BOW.
But it came a lot before.
House,
I
as it
think,
turns out,
7.
was created by Carla Radamez as her
I think they
ultimate
thought a
weapon,
lot
and has
about
the
not
ability to
doing
spread the
Resi after
C-virus
this.
by itself. If it manages to make it to the surface, the situation will get a whole lot worse. Chris and Piers
Fuck
engage
is
House
that?
in a fight, while Jake and Sherry make a run for it.
What
House
is
proves to be
that?
too much for them to handle, though. The BOW mortally wounds Piers, while Chris
Oh,
also
no.
sustains serious injuries. But just as the 2 of them are on the verge of being killed, in a final act of desperation, Piers injects himself with the C-virus. He undergoes a deadly transformation, and using his newfound powers, manages to subdue House. Knowing that he's not going to stick around for much longer, he forces Chris
Oh,
into an escape
I
pod,
remember
and as
Piers
Chris
now.
leaves the facility, he helplessly watches on as Piers sacrifices himself, destroying the facility in a final act of heroism. Meanwhile, Jake and Sherry are stopped by none other than Ustanak. The 2 of them take the BOW on in a
Fucking hell.
final grueling fight, but ultimately they are able to finally kill it for good before escaping from the facility.
That boy
Jake
was
gives
hard.
Sherry a sample of his blood and heads off on his own. Meanwhile, a vaccine is made from his blood and used to slowly curb the
Pretty sure that's how it
threat
works, isn't it?
completely. And that's it. That's the messy, unnecessary, and not really all that interesting story of Resident Evil 6. From a cheap Nemesis knockoff to Albert Wesker's illegitimate son suddenly emerging from nowhere. From an
How long
Ada
was
Wong
this
clone
game
to a terrible
or this
villain
video?
who at one point turns into a dinosaur. From a super agent Sherry Birkin to a Chris Redfield who has amnesia for like a minute, RE6's story was a complete and utter mess. Thankfully, if you've watched this video, at least you no longer have to play or replay the game, so that's something. So, what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below. And if you liked this video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.
There we go. Oh god. No, we don't need to watch 5. We've just played that. So that's that, everybody. What do we think? The video was only 19 minutes from start to end. I saved us a lot of time. Hang on, how long to beat Resident Evil 6? Honestly, it's really long. Yeah, it's about 25 to 30 hours. It says 20 to 25, but it's definitely longer than that. Yeah, like 20 to 30 hours, I would say. It's a long one. Have I pre-purchased 9? No, not yet. I'm just going to order it off the website I buy all my games off, I think. I just haven't done it yet. I'll be having it day 1 though. And we'll be playing it day 1, even if it's not a stream. I'm working. Play it in the evening. Yeah, that would be like easy mode as well, I think. You are right there, Hal. It's long, isn't it? It's so friggin' long. But that means we're now on to our boy. Where is it? 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 Resident Evil 7, as we can see in the picture. I didn't make one for 6 because I knew it was only going to be 20 minutes. Yay! I think that's a good picture. Good photo. Nice. 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 Yeah. So, yeah, we're about to be on that. Let me just 2 seconds. Just doing the play. Let me just sort this out quickly. Sorry guys, I tried doing this on the side, but it's hard to do. Yeah, it's not a great game. That I would maybe play it now if I was playing it with a friend, but yeah, I don't know if I'd bother otherwise. And even then, I'd probably do it for the stream one more time, truthfully, but I wouldn't want to do it again. You know, I just wouldn't. It sucks. It is not cute family. Where's Zoe? Not in the. Not there.